to Clamp. I'm distracted this week, and this is a weekly podcast. We discuss things. I don't know. I'm the host, Grant Alexander, and joining me as always is someone, and I can't remember. Sorry, there's people. Yeah, distractions. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm sorry, I got distracted by a lot of different things. So
too busy watching YouTube. We're trying to record here, and you're too busy watching YouTube.
Yeah. So we were having a discussion the other day about how we crave. It seems like humans crave distraction, and I wanted to talk to Jesse and Adam, who are the other co-hosts, about it. For in case this is your first episode ever. And,
hi, I'm Jesse.
Like, what the
yeah. So I wanted to talk and say, have humans always craved distraction, or is this a new thing that is the distraction needed in smaller time intervals because of the TikTok generation, or the Vines, or the shorts and reels, or YouTube even? Is TV? Did video kill the radio star? All these things and more are going to be talked about in this episode. Yeah, we're going to kind of go from there and hopefully have a fun discussion about this. Adam, take it away.
It's funny you say, is there are we more distracted now than in the past? I've seen so many things of people were like, oh, you're always on your phone, ignoring your kids and stuff. And then people turn around and say, yeah, but my parents were always reading a newspaper, or, watch it. Like my mum, she watched TV a lot when I was growing up. TV is not new. It's having a computer in your pocket that's new. But I think that TV itself, if anything, radio is coming back in a way. I know that Jesse loves to listen to podcasts, which to me is kind of like the radio, the new age radio in a way, whereas I prefer to watch videos.
Well, and I think it's always funny when people talk about how TikTok and all of the shorts and reels decrease attention span, because people scroll on those for hours. I don't know what that is. It's sort of like how I will get stressed sometimes about watching a movie because I'll say, oh, it's too long, I don't have time for that. But then I'll watch 5 episodes of The Office.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but we think we're doing something more efficiently and we're not.
Yeah. I think it's less of having a small attention span and more of keeping interest over a long period.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching one video watching a movie that's about one story for an hour and a half is different to watching 5 episodes where each episode's a different story.
That's fair.
It's also a false economy, and and you're lying to yourself because you're saying, if I watch a 30-minute episode, I can leave at any time. And we all know you can stop at any time, but you don't, right? So if you put on a TV show versus a movie, you're saying I could leave, and you don't, right? It's the same as I open up TikTok. I did before I deleted it off my phone. Open up TikTok and go, I'm just going to scroll for 5 minutes while I wait for the toast or whatever. But then all of a sudden I realize I've eaten the toast and had my coffee and I'm still scrolling. Right. And I've scrolled while buttering, and it's why are you doing this? And I've had times where I've been watching a YouTube video while I brush my teeth with an electric toothbrush and I can't hear the video. And I'm brushing my teeth, watching a video. And then I go to spit the toothpaste out, and I turn my head sideways and I turn the video sideways and I go, what is wrong with you? Can't you take 2 seconds to you don't need to watch this you don't need to be distracted all the time.
Yeah. I do it when I'm doing the dishes or cooking dinner. My phone's there playing a YouTube video. I'm not even watching it. It's just background noise. A lot of the time it is just background noise.
Well, see, and that's why I like podcasts, because I will get very stressed out if there's something going on and I need to see it and I can't. I think it's just very easy for me to put earbuds in and do everything. But the problem is, first thing in the morning, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to listen to a podcast while I make my breakfast and my coffee. And then it's 45 minutes later and I'm trying to work while still listening to the podcast. It gets a little hard. It's very addictive.
See, I can't wear headphones that much, like, or earphones. I can't. It just bothers me. I can't do it. I see people like standing on the edge of the platform waiting for the train with headphones in. I can't do it. I have to be able to hear the environment around me, and I can't have the volume down because that just annoys me. The only time I really wear headphones is if I'm playing a video game, I'm recording this podcast, or I'm at the gym. Other than that, I never wear them. I wouldn't walk around my house. I see people that wear them 24/7. I wouldn't walk around my house with headphones in.
I'm one of those bad people at that. Like I have softer headphones that I sleep with because I always have to have a sleeping mask and a podcast playing or music or something. And then when I'm at home, a lot of times I put them in because I'll listen to music to focus for work, but then I'll like get distracted and start listening to podcasts and walking around the house like cleaning and I don't know. I'm not sure why it's so comforting.
I fall asleep to YouTube. I'll put a YouTube video on, I literally just turn away from it and go to sleep. And I've had to turn off like the autoplay feature because now like the video will finish and then my phone will turn off after a certain amount of time. I always go to bed before my wife when I have the night off. Otherwise we go to bed together and I don't watch anything when I go to sleep. But she would always come in and wake me up and be like, turn your phone off. Like it's annoying. I'm asleep. I'm not even hearing it anymore. I couldn't understand how you go to bed with headphones in.
Well, I do just one normally. Two sometimes makes me feel like I'm suffocating. That sounds very odd, but it's like it's a
no.
lot.
That's exactly why I don't wear headphones all the time because I feel like I'm suffocating.
I think we have the same brain.
Yeah, it's like claustrophobia for headphones.
Yeah. Well, and what you said about not being able to wear them in public, like that's something that I struggle with too, that I just realized in therapy. I got very overwhelmed last time I was at the airport because I was trying to listen to stuff to calm myself, but then I was so worried what was going on around me and that I was missing stuff, and it got me so stressed out. It was ridiculous.
So I remember the first time I wore headphones to bed to try and listen to a podcast. It was binge listening to The Adventure Zone. And the big thing I didn't like about it is I would fall asleep halfway through an episode. And then it would auto delete off my phone, and I would have to re-download the episode, right? Like, because that's how I set it up. Like, if I finish an episode, it auto deletes, so I never have to delete anything. What I found is the biggest problem with wearing headphones is I sleep on my side, and I own like earbuds don't work; they just fall out of my ears, so I can't wear them. So, and I can't do one headphone. I can do I need to hear the environment as well, but I just listen to the sounds low enough that I can hear the environment. But I can't sleep with headphones on anymore because I would just like roll onto my side and then like wake up with like a giant earache. But to bring it back to being distracted, it's weird that I need like this distraction to put me to sleep. Right? I need this. Yeah. Like I can't just. What's wrong with just having nothing? Nothing makes the most sense, right? And all the sleep experts say nothing is the way to do it.
I feel like it's less of needing a distraction and more of I hate silence. Like it's not. I just need to feel that silence. Like even I can't sleep without the fan on. I have to have the noise of the fan, and I have to have like. It's so weird. My wife, because I used to always, when I was a kid, like growing up and like when I first met my wife and stuff when I was 17 or 18, I would always go to bed with the TV on, and she got me out of that. She thought it was ridiculous. And it's only just the last couple of years where I've started going to sleep with my phone playing YouTube. I don't know why.
It's a distraction for me, for sure. Like and kind of a ritual, I guess, at this point. But I'm definitely one of those people that, I always have thoughts running through my head constantly. There's always talk about things I need to do or something I forgot to do, like planning for the future stuff that I need to do. Like it's pretty constant. So having something else that I can really focus on helps a lot. I don't know. Definitely. But I just can't do video because the light and the colors, it's too much for me. Like especially if I'm trying to go to sleep.
Well, that's why I turn around.
That's just so weird.
See, I have the same issue as Grant with the podcast, though, is that then I wake up and I go to work and I'm like, but I wanted to watch that video, and now I've missed it. And now it won't show up for me because it's in my watch history has already been seen.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, especially if you had autoplay on, like autoplay would have played through a bunch of videos you would have wanted to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the other half of it.
Yeah, I'm happy I do
my
Apple
dad-
Podcasts for that reason.
I remember my dad, I would always like go into his room to like wake him up because he worked shift work when I was younger, and the TV would still be on. Or sometimes it would be like my mom would send me in there to like turn off the TV for him because he's falling asleep. And I remember like sometimes like he's dead asleep, snoring, full on like he's asleep.
Hey, I was watching.
As soon as you turn the TV off, you wake up and go, I was watching that.
Yep.
Yeah. My mom was the same.
Why do we need to be distracted? What is wrong with our lives that we need to be so like we can't spend 5 minutes in silence?
See, this is what I was thinking of with the silence, is because then I'm like with my thoughts and everything, and I was thinking maybe it's a new, I think mental health is definitely at a much higher rate than it was when we were younger. But then we go back to that of where my mum was the same as your dad. Like if you turn off TV, I was watching that and that. Were they doing the same thing? So maybe it's not a mental health thing. Maybe it's something else.
Maybe
too.
they had a mental health problem.
Maybe I don't know. I can't explain it. All I know is I have to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because we need more excitement in our lives in some form. I mean, because I just thinking about how much I've worked. Like I've pretty much worked full time since I was 16. And just thinking about how much time I've spent doing things I didn't really want to do. It's like I'm trying to get the time back by filling every possible moment with something I enjoy, which is sometimes really bad for, what I'm attempting to do that's outside of that.
Are you actually filling it with things you enjoy, or are you filling it with filler? Because I feel like a lot of podcasts I listen to are often they're like I enjoy them, but they're not like it's not I would really enjoy it, or videos I watch. It's like if I'm eating breakfast and watching a video, it's not like I'm really engaged in that video or I'm having it on in the background. If I'm having it on in the background, is it really something I'm trying to get back and enjoy? Or are you trying to do this false math in your head of like, well, as long as I listen to this podcast, I've made up for the fact that I had to do 8 hours of work today. Right?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
So when I first thought of this topic, I didn't really think about much of the distraction side and more of the addiction side. Like I like if I got 5 minutes, I'm scrolling through reels. If I've got any more than 5 minutes, I'm probably watching a YouTube video. Why? Like I'm literally standing on the platform waiting for my next train that's coming in 3 minutes time, and I'm scrolling through reels. I'm not just standing there. I'm not like it, and I'm not even just like scrolling through Facebook. It's reels. It's got to be videos. I don't know why.
So I wonder. Well, one, I think the reels or any of the scrolling is like this little dopamine hit, right? It's that like you're trying to find this interesting video and you're going to laugh or cry or whatever. Something's going to happen. You're looking for that, right? And that's why you're just like scrolling. But I think that part of it is that you don't either think you have enough time to have a self-reflecting thought, right? So if you only got 5 minutes, you're like, I don't have enough time to like deal with a real introspection. I want to make sure I don't have one. So let me pull out my phone. I don't want to have any kind of introspection, right? And that's like unconsciously doing that, not actually consciously deciding. But I used to smoke, and I always remembered if I would go outside and by myself, if I couldn't have a cigarette and not have a phone to play what like originally it was like playing Brick Breaker on my BlackBerry, but eventually it was like led into like different games like Bejeweled, or then later it became watching little videos on my phone as the internet changed and became more prevalent on my phone. But I just remember going like, if I would have a cigarette and for some reason I'd forgot my phone, the cigarette would be like 2 minutes. And if I had the thing, it would be like 5 or 7. And it's so weird that I just like I didn't want to be alone with myself. And I was feeding an addiction with another addiction, right? Like it's such a weird thing. Like that addiction thing really hits me hard because I go, I did it. I still do it today. I don't smoke today, but I still have that problem of feeding my addiction, and that's why I deleted TikTok. I was addicted to TikTok, like addicted to it. I would be like at 11 o'clock, I'd be like, I'm just going to scroll a little bit, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd be like, I need to go to bed, and I wouldn't. It's like 2 hours, like I'm just been scrolling on TikTok, and I'm like, I didn't even see anything I liked.
That's why
It's
I
funny
haven't
because you
started
say
scrolling.
it's funny because you say you didn't want to be alone with yourself, but then how much of it now is you don't want to be alone with other people? Because I find that I pull out my phone to sort of get away from everyone else so people don't talk to me as well, which is kind of funny. And there's a few older people at my work. Like my work's very age ranged, and like they bitch all the time because everyone's watching movies on their phone, or like no one's talking to each other in the meal room.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they're like, it's like things have changed. Like people, you know, no one wants to talk to anyone anymore. I've been trying to be very conscious of not doing it because I used to be that person. I'd be, as soon as I'm in the meal room, headphones in, watching movies. And now I don't put headphones in and I talk to everyone that comes in, which is really good. But it was a hard thing to sort of learn to do and to get over of don't pull my phone out. Or, you know, how many people think that I'm rude because I'll be standing there having a conversation and I pull my phone out just to see if there's a notification and put it straight back in. Like I just have to look at my screen. Why? Like I'm literally in a conversation with someone and I'm looking at my watch because it vibrated, or like you guys would see me doing it all the time. I'm always looking down at my phone when we're recording. It's frustrating and I can't, like, I throw my phone away and then I go and get it. Like it's just frustrating.
Yep.
I kind of enjoy, like, so I've been using my phone as my camera recently and it's been nice. Yeah, because I can't touch it. I can't, like, it's just there. So it is nice. It's one less distraction to worry about.
When you're trying to record videos, though, it was the opposite issue for me because every time I wanted to take photos for Instagram or something, my phone was always in use and it used to piss me off.
So I remember David Picciuto talking on Making It, and he was talking about how he decided that this phone no longer enters the bathroom, and and he was, you know, it's a little, I don't know, I think he called it blue or whatever, but I was like, I get that because, like, if you can't take that time, like, it's not very, like, you don't spend half a day in the bathroom unless you're stuck on TikTok. But if you can't take that time to just have some thoughts, then you probably, like, that, you can just, like, that's a room you can say it doesn't enter there anymore. But I know that if I don't go in there, I open up the cabinet and I pull out whatever cleaner is down there and I read that bottle. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I remember back in the day, I used to have these things called like Uncle John's bathroom reader or magazines. And it's like I don't want to waste a single moment of time in my life, but I end up, because of these distractions, actually wasting more is what I found.
Yeah, it's easy definitely to do that.
There's a whole reel / TikTok like side of that whole thing of like be sitting on the toilet for 2 hours watching reels and then get up and you can't walk sort of thing. Like there's a whole joke around it because everyone does it. But I must admit I have been guilty, and my wife has called me out on it, of literally standing at the toilet, phone in my hand.
Like you haven't made it.
Like I'm not
yet,
even,
or you're out.
No. Like I'm literally going to be there for 10 seconds because I'm only urinating and my phone's in my hand. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why is your phone out of your... And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
You just got to sit down to pee and then you can pull it out and it's fine.
Sure. Well, so
easy.
in saying that, I wonder, do your other halves complain much about you being on your phone?
No, but I'm pretty good at just leaving it once Tyler's home. Because, like, I'm excited to see him and I've been looking forward to seeing him all day. And so a lot of times, like, we're both pretty good at, like, kind of ignoring our phones and watching a show and having dinner or whatever. But I don't know. I'm just not as attached to my phone as most people. And I think that's why I use
Yeah.
podcasts so much, because I can be away from it and still experiencing the podcast.
So you're not attached to your phone, but you are attached to your phone. Like you're
Yeah,
attached.
but
Even if
it's
maybe you
just,
listen
I
to it
don't
on your
know.
computer, but you're still attached to it. Like you're doing it in a way that like you've done some mental gymnastics to say I'm not
Yeah.
attached to it. How often are you in the room with Tyler and you're listening to a podcast?
I mean, a lot of time, honestly, because like after
Yeah.
we've kind of talked and done whatever, he goes to play a game and I start wandering around listening to podcasts, cleaning stuff and whatever else. Yeah.
Right.
I definitely do it a lot when he's at
I-
home, but yeah.
So that's where I think it's like you're just doing it with your ears instead of your eyes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So my wife,
Basically.
because you've got long hair, you can even cover it up so it never even looks like you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he does try to talk to me
you've
sometimes.
got
I'm
it
like, I'm
made.
sorry, what?
Yeah. I've actually instituted a thing in my house, and it doesn't go over as well as I would hope, that you have to see the person to talk to the person.
Mm.
Because I'll often be wearing headphones, and they're like I have massive headphones. They're not small. And I'm wearing them because like I'm listening to music for work or whatever, or I'm listening to a podcast or whatever it is, and my wife will be talking to me, and then she'll like walk into the room like a little like you're not listening to me, and I'm like, what, and because I wasn't, but. So one thing I've started for a little bit of time after the first after Fletcher was born, and I started putting on my headphones while in the same room with my wife in order to either listen to a podcast or watch a video, and not it was in my mind to not disturb her. And what it turned out to be is like this passive aggressive way of saying I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Right? That's how like it was
Yeah.
taken. But it wasn't meant that way. It was like I want to be around you, but it's like I don't want to waste my time being around you.
It's a weird thing, hey. It is. It's such a weird thing. It's like if my wife's not home, I don't want to go in the garage. But if my wife is home, I want to go in the garage. And it's like it's such a weird thing because it's like I don't want to do it without you here, but I also want to do it. Like I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like if my wife put on headphones around me and started watching videos, I'd probably get pretty annoyed as well. To be honest, like
Yeah.
if we're watching a movie or TV, I don't touch my phone. It sits in front of me. If I get a notification, I'll quickly clear it or whatever. Or like if it looks like if it's Discord or whatever, I usually just let it go for a bit. But she's on her phone like the whole time, and I don't care that much. Yeah. It's that she has a go at me. And the reason why I ask this question is because I wonder if it's that 10 seconds that I'm standing at the toilet where I know my wife's not going to get angry at me for touching my phone is why I pull it out. Because I'm like, I can quickly just clear my notifications and stuff without getting in trouble.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's a lot of it as well.
I definitely think that's part of it is like, but now I've almost started to realize that I'm spending a little too much time trying to like hide in another room looking at my phone.
Exactly.
Right. And I don't want to do that. So I'd rather pull it out in front and get the dirty look than like hide in the wherever I am and like not get the dirty look. But I'm doing the same thing. I'm just the dirty look's happening whether I'm there or not. Right. Like it's.
Well, and I wonder
feel.
if it's different because y'all have kids too. Like
probably.
With me and Tyler, it's just much more lax because there's nothing, our big thing was Sadie and Sadie passed. And so we don't really have those responsibilities anymore. So I don't know. I don't really ever feel annoyed.
Things like Tyler goes off and plays a video game and I'm like, what? You're allowed to do that in the house?
I mean, the whole downstairs is for him. I mean, I think because I've always been an online person, and Tyler really has too, because he started playing like World of Warcraft while we were in high school. So like, I think there's just a mutual understanding that we just need our personal time where we do our thing.
You're also a bit of a gamer as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can find ways to occupy myself.
Hates games.
I
could go spend 2 hours building something in the garage. That's fine. But if I want to spend 2 hours playing a video game, I'm an idiot. Like that's not okay. That's just brain damage to her. Like that's how
So
she views
weird.
video games. Yeah.
That's my wife's fine with me. She's bought me games, but my wife's very supportive of everything I do. But I will say that if I tell my wife like I want to go spend 2 hours, 5 hours playing games, I get a different reaction than I need to go out in the thing and build something for the house, right?
Yes.
Like if I go in the garage and build something for the house, she's like, okay, I can take care of the kids. If I say I want to go play The Last of Us for the third time because I still haven't upgraded all the goddamn weapons, she's like, why? Like to get a stupid trophy on a stupid thing that you don't even care about? And I'm like, yeah, that's why.
My problem is my wife knows that I have a very addictive personality, and you know there were times in the past like when my mates and I we used to play Ark, and it overtook my life, like to a point where I was more focused on getting on there and sorting stuff out than looking after the kids, you know, and that sort of didn't help with my wife's view on games and stuff. Like she's bought me an Xbox before and games and all that sort of stuff, but shit changed when you have kids. You know, and even like my firstborn, there's pictures of me when my firstborn was like a few weeks old of him laying on my chest while I'm sitting on the lounge playing Xbox with a controller in my hand. That would have never happened with my second kid. You know, it's just different now.
Well, and I think definitely the second kid is like changes everything. Like one kid is pretty easy because you got two people and you can divide and conquer, right? But as soon as you have like they're starting to outnumber you, it becomes problematic. I could not imagine. So down the street from me, there's a couple that has all their kids are under 5 and they've got 4 of them.
Wow.
So they had twins and I just look at that and I go, I don't understand. And they have a dog too, and I just go, I don't know how you do any of it. And they often like it's like I feel so bad, but they're often like baking stuff and running over and like giving it to us. I'm like,
isn't that weird? Like
stuff?
Yeah. People like that, they just seem like they have like it more together. It's weird.
It's not more together. They thrive in chaos. I know so many girls who have like so many kids, and I think you just get used to that level of everything is shitbird crazy all the time, and it's okay. We're gonna get through it.
They are not taking any time to distract themselves.
Yeah,
because they don't have any time to distract themselves. But no, I will say the busier I am, the more productive I am. So during the pandemic, things got a lot less busy. Things shut down. Yep. Everything became problematic. I know I became less prolific on YouTube. The only thing that I continued to do every week was the podcast, right? Like everything else shut down. Like my work shut down for like 2 months. I didn't do basically any work. We didn't have access to the networks or anything. I just like sat around and like twiddled my thumbs, and I was like, you have all the time in the world. They're not expecting you to work. They literally told you don't, just go home. And I couldn't go in the garage. You know what I mean? Like it's such a like you have all the time in the world. And as soon as I get way busier, like right now I'm busy. I've been doing the scouts, I'm doing all this like stuff, the race car stuff ramping back up, kids and school and all this other activities. And I'm starting to feel productive again. And I think the whole thing is like productivity breeds productivity, and free time breeds distraction.
Definitely.
Yeah. I know whenever I do, like, I set up good boundaries with work finally, and I stop working at like 3 or 4, depending when I start. But all that free time, I'm not doing anything with it. A lot of times, Tyler and I will watch an episode of a show. Like we're watching Severance right now, which is fucking awesome. And then, once that's done, I have several hours and I might work out during that time. But a lot of the time I'm just sitting on the couch, like petting the animals or watching TV or listening to a podcast. Like I'm not filling it with anything good because I feel like I need downtime.
My problem is that I need that downtime, but that downtime is also weight on my shoulders because I'm sitting there. Like I said to my wife yesterday or the other day, I said, I really just need to I just feel like we've been going nonstop for the last like month, just every day, just nonstop. I just need to sit down and watch TV for a day with you. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, I need to do this. I've got this. Like my mind is going crazy. Like I still just can't shut off. I can't I can't remember the last time I was bored where like my mind was doing nothing.
That's because you distract yourself in every single time that you could have been bored.
Yeah.
You don't let yourself be bored anymore. People don't do it. They just, as soon as they have 5 seconds, they pull out their supercomputer in their pocket. They connect to a thing that is a dopamine feeding like device that sends you all these good feelings, whatever it is. And it's ridiculous. We need to, I would like to challenge all of our listeners to take a day and put your phone away, even this podcast, if you're listening to it right now, and lock it away unless you like have emergencies or whatever. And don't look at it. Don't listen to a podcast. Don't listen to watch a show. Don't go on your computer. Don't do anything. And then tell me how it went. Because I know that the times I've done that, at the end of it, I have felt better.
Mm-hmm.
And I've reflected upon it and said, I should do this more often. And I've immediately went, oh my God, so many notifications.
See, that's the problem. It's what you come in. I feel like I have to stay on top of everything. I'm like, as soon as I feel my phone vibrate, I've got to check what it is. What is that notification? Do I need to clear it? I can't leave my phone sitting for a couple of hours because I know I'm just going to come back to hell.
Oh,
It's not. It's hell of your own making. It's nothing.
I know, exactly.
Don't worry
exactly.
about it.
And the notifications are nothing. It's either a message from someone that I don't care about not that I don't care about them, that I don't care to respond to, or they're not talking to me, like Discord or whatever, like someone's having a conversation, or it's an email that's junk that for some reason I don't go through and stop all the junk emails from all the stupid companies that send me emails from years ago, because I, for some reason, thrive on getting notifications. It's like when I was a kid and like you get mail in the mailbox and you're like, oh yeah, like
Columbia Records.
It's so dumb. Like my kid now, like he gets a magazine from Lego like once a month. It's like a free magazine, and he's so excited.
Yeah.
I get mail and I'm like, oh, it's more bills, like it. But like on my phone, I'm like, oh, a notification. It's nothing, junk. Get rid of it.
Well, and I am the absolute opposite with notifications. I hate them. I have them turned off for almost everything. Messages and Discord are the only two things that give me notifications. And even at work, even though I run every social media network, they're all off because I get so stressed and I feel like I have to be very attentive if they're on and I have to be right on top of things. But if I can turn things off and kind of do it at my own pace, I feel a lot better. I don't know. I just hate notifications so much.
I always think about how crazy it is to think that people expect a response within minutes or hours or even within that day. And I go, you used to have to write it down on paper, put it in an envelope, and mail it across the country to get a response from me. And now you're like, why have you not responded? It's been an hour.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that I worry that's what people think. And then I'm like, I got to message this person back instantly. And then my wife's like, why are you on your phone? They can wait. Like, no, I got to message them back. I've got to especially like with us too. She's like, they're literally on the other side of the world. They don't know what you're doing right now. Why you instantly have to message back?
Right. And a lot of times we'll message you while you're asleep. So we're not going to get a message back. And but I get it, because at first, what do you do when you wake up? This is we'll kind of end the distractification.
I turn on my shower, and while my shower is heating up, which takes like 10 seconds, but it actually takes a minute because I'm too busy clearing out all my notifications.
Okay, interesting.
So for me, I leave my phone on my nightstand, and I normally take Charlie out and then do a shower. So I think because of the boundaries with my personal life and work, I do not pick up the phone. Like it's not the first thing I want to look at in the morning. I want to wait until I get on my computer and then, shit erupts.
In my defense, I'm waking up 15 minutes before I'm due out the door to drive to work. Like I'm waking up at 1 a.m. or like midnight, have a shower, get dressed, leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get up a little bit earlier if I wanted to and actually have time to myself, but I don't because I'd rather sleep.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I roll over, I pick up the phone, and I probably every morning spend 10 to 15 minutes checking all the different things.
Mm-hmm.
Discord, Like it's like Discord, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, checking all the things, getting rid of all the things that I've gotten in my Kijiji like ads that I want to get, which is like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Like send me like a thing for new metal lathes in my area overnight. And I just like go through that in the morning. I have like a little routine of checking all the different places that I could have a notification and reading all of my emails that came in over the night before I get out of bed. I'm not out of bed yet.
That's good.
I
And
can't do
then
it.
but that's not my work phone. So I have a separate phone for work. And then when I get downstairs, I check the work phone while my work computer opens up. I'm on the work phone because I'm like, I don't want to wait for this. I can't wait 30 seconds for this computer to log in. I need to check the phone immediately because it has all the emails I need to just delete that came in over the night. Where it's like, network down in this area. We get emails on all the different things that are happening across the network because that way if you're emailing someone and they're not responding, well, it's because their network's down. Anyways, I don't know. But talking about Discord and checking the notifications there's something new that we're doing. We have actually opened up a Discord server for Clamp where everyone can come in and chat with us. And we will have the link for that in the show notes. There's also, if you go to patreon.com/clamp, you can find one of the latest posts there. We'll have the invite for it. It is open to everyone. All of our listeners are welcome. There's going to be a Patreon specific channel where we can talk about the pre-show and after show stuff. So that way the people who don't know what the hell is happening don't get misunderstanding of, did I miss that in the episode or not? So there's going to be that. And then we're also going to be doing, if there's enough interest and enough people actually joining in, is we want to start up a monthly hangout with with Jesse, Adam, and myself, where Patreon people can come and hang out and chat with us for like an hour or until, if it's at around 9 o'clock at night Eastern, until I decide to go to bed and have enough until I've ran out of beers, whichever happens first. But yeah, that's going to be the new thing that we're adding to Patreon. So if you go to Patreon and you're linked in your Discord, there's a bunch of people who are already in it because I set it up and it got auto-invited. If you're one of our patrons...
Patreon got early access.
Yeah, you got early access, which is great. Or if you want, make sure you link your Patreon to your Discord, and that will help you connect in. But with saying that, I want to thank our Patreon people, especially F-Clamp level people, Brent Jarvis from Clean Cut Woodworking, Vincent Ferrari from Digitally Creative, Scott from Dad It Yourself DIY, Joe Herdina, Lawrence from Maritime Knife Supply, Rich from Low End Design, and David Wood from DW Wood Builds. All those people and everyone else who helps us out, they get access to a pre-show and after show, the Discord, and this everyone could get the Discord, but there's a special Discord and the keychain that we actually just got a new patron, and I will send it out, Earl the Third. I will be sending his keychain this week, so thank you very much, Earl. And go to patreon.com/clamp.
CLAMPmendations.
So my CLAMPmentation this week is going to be a band that I got to see at Knotfest, and they're called Spiritbox. They have a female singer who is actually a screamer as well. I can't understand how she screams so low. She screams lower than most male singers that I've heard. It's insane. Yeah. Did I say the name? Spiritbox?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. My mind's distracted.
So my recommendation, CLAMPmendation for this week is The Circle Season 2 on Netflix. If you have not seen The Circle, it's basically a reality show where you put forward a character into the circle, which is essentially like a closed loop social media thing. And so you have people who are being themselves and also people who are being catfish. And season 2 is really chaotic and super fun. So if you need TV that will not make you cry, or, no one will get shot, no dogs will die, The Circle Season 2 is a great pick. I think it's just very fun and mindless, and I really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, I guess I will recommend another podcast because I like to do the fun podcast stuff. And this week I'm going to recommend the For the Gram podcast. It is Vic and Dom from Vic's from the Stump Shop, and I can't remember Dom's Instagram handle, but go check out their podcast, and I'm sure all the information is there. But they have an Instagram podcast about Instagram and social media strategy, and they talk a lot about kind of their experience with Instagram and how they've been dealing with, Facebook's. The most recent episodes have been talking a lot about how Instagram has been and Meta has been deciding that maybe Reels isn't the future, and what that looks like, and are pictures coming back? Well, they say they might be, but you never know. Anyways, it's just an interesting thing, especially if you're trying to build a little bit of a community or build a brand. They talk a lot about how to leverage your followers and stuff like that. Uh, to try and work it out. And they're Canadian, so it's helpful to me to listen to them and kind of get a little experience, because almost everyone I follow and listen to is in America, and they get much better deals and offers on their content for whatever reason. So you should go check them out.
Cool.
And now we'll go on to Ask Us Anything. This week we have a question from Design is Blank. Did I say that? Design is blank. Yeah. So when there's no spaces in words, I have a hard time reading them.
I'll
I
space it
get
next time
distracted
for you.
halfway through. Yeah, that's all good. No, that's yeah. Anyways, how do you validate if an idea should be turned into a documented project? And I think we'll let Jesse go last as the resident documented project expert. But Adam and the so to start it off, I'd say there's a lot of different ways of documenting. If you make a YouTube video, that's documenting. If you make an Instagram post, that's potentially documenting. There's a lot of different there's a spectrum of what documentation could be.
I feel like this is something I always had an issue with. Is I got to a point. I think the whole reason, sort of, why I stopped with YouTube and everything is because I couldn't work out what should be documented and what shouldn't, and it got to a point where I feel like I was just documenting everything, and that's, to me, is not a good way to run a YouTube channel, because you're not doing things that people are going to find interested. You're doing things that you just because you're doing them. You just get the camera out for no reason, just record it. And yeah, it's always an issue I've had. So to be honest, I don't validate any of my projects to be documented.
That's fair.
So I think, interestingly enough, that you should try and document everything and then validate it, right? So every idea should be documented. And the reason why I say that is because some of my most watched videos or most viewed instructables or anything have been things that I originally didn't even document. And then I went back because of talking with the time with BYOT Brent, talking about doing the little stop block thing for my miter saw. He was like, yeah, make that a video. And it was like one of my best performing videos of all time. So it was like something I went, this doesn't need to be documented. And then no, it does. So I think document everything, post it all, because posting, especially on short form content, it's here today, gone tomorrow. It's nothing. And then if you feel like there's any value in what you did, develop it into a further documentation.
I mean, I definitely would be more likely to throw anything on a story than make a video out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So for me, in the past, I did a lot of SEO making. So, searching what is popular at this time of year, what are people talking about, what's trending on Google. But now that Instructables is ad free, it's a lot different, because it's more, is it something that I know how to do really well? And is it good? That's pretty much the only thing. Just because, if I make something and it's not great, I'm not going to make it again and document it. Or if I make something and I find it a very annoying process, and even though it looks great, I'm not going to do it again. I feel like I have more flexibility in it now. But a lot of times for me, just because I do everything on Instructables, it's been, is there an Instructable for this yet? And if there is an Instructable, is it good enough that I want people to click on it? Or should I try to make one that I would rather people click on, which sounds a little weird, but I don't know. For me, I think because the site is such a big part of my life, I'm very conscious about the experience that people get when they search for something on there. So I have put so much stuff up just because I know I could do it better, which is a little weird.
Well, I think that's actually a really good thing. If you look out into the world and you see what someone else has done and you don't think it's good enough or it misses the parts that make sense for you, because it may not even be that it's good enough, it may that it didn't make sense to you. That doesn't mean the other person doesn't make sense to it. Like
Yeah,
50% of the population, if it doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't, right? And so go ahead. Like, I know I've read a lot of stuff where I go, that makes 100% sense to me, and another person can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? With the same instructions, they can't figure it out. I'm like, no, it's there, right? Like, I don't understand. So I think if whether or not you think if you think there's value, if you think that you bring something different, instead of saying value, which is like what the fuck does that mean? If you think you bring something different, document it.
Yep, I agree with that, definitely.
Yeah.
Is I think people really get caught up on the idea of originality, which there is no originality at all in the world anymore. It's just, we're all, even if we're not copying each other, there are people having the same thought and doing the same thing. So I definitely, it's better to do it if you enjoy it instead of worrying about being original.
Even in music now, there's a lot of covers. In TV and movies, it's always they brought out that Lightyear movie, but for us that was Toy Story. So things aren't original anymore. There's not there's no originality anymore.
Okay.
Everything's just spin-offs, and
nothing has ever been original. Except for our theme song. So thank you, TF Turning, for the theme song. And if you want to find us, you can find us all over the social media sphere at Clamp, or search Clamp Podcast or Clampcast. Search all those things. If you want to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram. It's probably the best place, at Clampcast. And with that, we'll see you all in the after show.
See you all in Discord. Bye.